Hi YouTubers, Elsie Butcher here with part 2 of my teaching, Booty and the Beast. In these teachings, I will go over some things more than one time, and that is because sometimes we do not fully grasp the meanings the first time around, and these are important teachings. I hope that you have told others about these teachings, and that all of you will subscribe. Last time we left off by saying that Psalm 51 and 5 refers us to other scriptures. One was Psalm 58 and 3, which I talked about. And today, here's another. Psalm 51 and 5 reminds me of Psalm 139, 1 and 13. For thou, O Lord, hast possessed my reins. Thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. Meaning, according to the concordance, for you, Jehovah, God of the Jewish nation, have owned my kidneys and my mind. You have entwined or twisted or coiled yourself around me. You have hedged me in, or you have surrounded me with an enclosing fence or barrier of evil spirits to guard and to hinder me. You joined yourself with me in my mother's womb. Psalm 51 and 5 refers us to Romans 5 and 12. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. Meaning, for this reason, when through one man, trespassing or transgressing, violating moral ethics and offense, a stumbling block, an obstacle to progress, and the cause of error, mistakes and inaccuracy and fallacy, guile or witchery, and deceitful cunning and trickery came into the world. The once orderly cosmos that became adorned or ornamented with evil spirits. And death, or thanatos, the death instinct, or the profoundly imbued endowment, the deep-seated implanted dowries as gifts put inside of to cause ruin and loss of life by death or by way of sin, the stumbling block that is an obstacle to progress and comprehension, and being the alpha or the beginning, the one being in close association or being combined with. Therefore, death or thanatos passed upon all of the species of man, because all are considered to be ones that sinned. This scripture is speaking of Lucifer, identified as the man, and because this man is identified in Strong's with the number 444, Lucifer was a certain kind of man. Remember this scripture that says Lucifer was perfect in all of his ways until iniquity was found in him? In Ezekiel 28 and 15, the word perfect means entire or untouched, not influenced, not handled, being filled with integrity, with truth, and being without blemish, without taint or stigma, being undefiled, without corruption, being upright, virtuous, righteous and honest and whole, healthy and without hurt, without injury, mental distress and suffering. All this is talking about Lucifer before the fall, before iniquity was found in him. This man that Lucifer was before iniquity was found in him is the same type of persons Jesus wanted his disciples to fish for or to catch in Matthew 4, 18 and 19. And in this scripture, Romans 5 and 12, the concordance says that Lucifer, after falling, became a stumbling block. But it also identifies him as the Alpha, or the beginning one that is in close association with the species of man. Now, does this also sound like Jesus? Isn't Jesus identified as the Alpha? And isn't he the God that is in people? According to Luke 17:21 and 1 Corinthians 3 and 16. So then we can identify Lucifer and Jesus as being one and the same. As Jesus, Lucifer stole back that which he once had by robbing and dispossessing other perfect beings. Isaiah 14:12 says, Lucifer fell from heaven, which I call the zenith distance, and after falling, weakened the nations, or caused the nations, the Goyis, Gowy's, the amassing or gathering and grouping of Gentiles or foreigners, persons who are not Jewish, but were given to Jews and others as an inheritance by God, aka Lucifer, according to Psalm 2:8, to be in the backs of these persons and among and in the middle of them, to weaken, to cause them to lose power or authority, to lose soundness, to lose physical strength and health, to overthrow, to upset, to confuse and disorder, to waste away, or to consume, meaning to abuse, to exhaust, and to use up, to impair or to injure, to do injustice to wrong, to treat with disrespect, to defraud, to swindle, to extort from, to give pain, to inflict material loss upon, to tarnish the standing of, or to vitiate, to cause the rank and condition of the authority and status of to be ineffective, to ravage or to wreak havoc upon, to drive, to frighten into going in a desired direction, to punish, to inflict vengeance upon, to devastate, to reduce to helplessness, great confusion and disorder. Isaiah 14:12 identifies the culprit responsible for these crimes against the Gentiles, of which I am one, as Lucifer, while Psalm 2:8 says the heathens or Gentiles are given by Jehovah to others, including the Jews, as an inheritance by Jehovah, aka Jesus, in the New Testament. If you will study Hebrews 10:5 and the concordance meaning, you will find that the body of slaves corresponds to the Gentiles in Psalm 2:8, and that God is the giver of diseases and plagues in Hebrews 12:6. Now let us examine 1 Corinthians 15:45. And so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. The concordance definition is this. So then, thus it is written, the man Adam, who was the beginning, or the man foremost in time, being a type of Jesus, was caused to be a living breath, or an ardent or passionate spirit or soul, and meaning an animating principle, the prince or beginning initiator, that is animated or lively, and causing others to be animated or lively. Lively has these meanings: A, being full of zest, piquancy, or being engagingly provocative, tending to provoke, to excite, to stimulate in an engaging manner, or in a way that draws favorable attention to. Being attractive, or being charming, appealing, and arousing interest in. B, lively, fervent, being filled with zeal, fervent and zealous, or being filled with passion, intense emotion that compels action. And C, being gay. It's very important that you listen to this. Being gay or merry, lively, being gay or merry, and exuberant. Merry comes from an Old English word, merge, akin to the Old High German word, mure, meaning short or brief, or curt and abrupt, rude, immature, and raw, vulgar, being one of the common people or one of the mob, being abrupt, and being dull, foolish and blind, defective, difficult, and hidden from sight, being precipitate, to have fallen, to have suffered failure, defeat, and ruin suddenly. Gay, being exuberant. Impersonal agents, those not existing as persons. X, coming out of the ubers or the udders, out of the bags or the testicles, and being fruitful, abundant, teeming, Teeming, and going up the gazoo or up the wazoo. And I am not going to define that for you because I was really surprised at the meaning, and I'm going to ask you to find out the meaning of wazoo, W-A-Z-O-O, for yourselves. This definition for exuberant, as a synonym for gay, describing the lively, animated character of this world, corroborates the meaning for the word epididymis, Epidydymiddes, which I talked about in my last video titled Mark 8:36, a trick question. Lively also meaning commanding, being the one exercising, dominating, or controlling influence over others. Now, who is the controller? It is Jesus. Think about this. When Adam is spoken of as being a living soul, it is interesting to find out that the word living can refer to the words ardent and passionate. And the word soul does refer to the sentient principle only. Merriam-Webster's dictionary refers to the sentient principle only as the animating principle, and the word anima, A-N-I-M-A, which means breath or soul, and is derived from the word animate, A-N-I-M-A-T-E, and from the word animus, A-N-I-M-I-S-M, coming from that same word in the Latin, anima, A-N-I-M-A. Anima, or the soul, can also have this meaning: the attributing, the ascribing, or the assigning of conscious life to objects in nature, or to phenomena in nature, which is illusion or fancy, appearing or occurring in nature. The word in nature means that fancy or illusion is incorporated or mixed with that which is natural. Anima can also mean that inanimate objects are assigned conscious life, and conscious can mean characterized by design or by trickery. Recall that in past teachings I showed you that the mind of Christ, spoken of in 1 Corinthians 2:16, comes from the Greek word nous, N-O-U-S, which is synonymous with the phrase anima mundi, meaning world spirit, or the force that governs the physical world. The soul of the first Adam was of the sentient principle only, or being the basis of physical consciousness only, and coming from the prince of this world, Lucifer, aka Satan. The last or final Adam was caused to be a quickening or stimulating spirit, or a divine rational soul, a faith-based reasoning or calculating demonic spirit that was to have or to hold others for his use, service, and for disposal, that is, regulation, or to be brought under the control of law or constituted authority. To lie in wait or in a hidden or concealed position, to lay claim to and to inflict vengeance upon, or to assert ownership of, that is, to state ownership of confidently without regard for evidence or proof, and to inflict vengeance upon others in retaliation for being tried, convicted, and sentenced to perdition by the righteous originators of all reality, to keep others or persons of light or of truth from journeying, from traveling or leaving the earth and going to the zenith distance. The last Adam, or the divine God, was given new life. because of being in a contiguous relationship with those taken as slaves. Contiguous meaning having contact with, being in union with, in association and communication with. So now what we have is the last man Adam, the animal or the beast. Now I didn't make this up. This is in the concordance. Being given or allotted new life, living persons who are of dissimilar origin and of superior quality, or what we have is Booty and the beast. Here are some creative ways that I ascribe to the word Adam, A-D-A-M. Two words, Adam, A, and then D-A-M, with the diacritical mark over A for long A sound. Dame is from the Latin domina, or a feminine word for master of the house, being a woman of rank and authority. Well, isn't Lucifer referred to as an evil spirit that is male, but is also identified as Venus, a goddess of the Romans, and being the morning star? Two words, Adam, A and Dum, Adam. That which temporarily, Adam, let me go back over that. Adam, that which temporarily obstructs, hinders from action and passage, from travel from here to there, that which confines or restricts, that holds back and restrains, keeps under control, limits, and takes away freedom. Adam was a prefigure of Jesus, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And according to 1 Corinthians 15:45, the end can be one doomed to destruction or to perish, meaning the irate or the wrathful to issue, to flow out of, and to be terminated thoroughly. Two words, Adam, that which obstructs or hinders from action temporarily and from passage, from traveling or journeying from here to there, and being that which confines, restricts, or limits, holds back or restrains, keeps under control, and takes away freedom. Adam, being Jesus, is also identified as the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first Adam and the last Adam, according to 1 Corinthians 15:45. The last Adam, the last one, the end, means the one doomed to destruction, to perish, meaning ire or the irate, the wrathful one, to go, to flow out of, or to issue, and be thoroughly terminated. Here is something interesting I found in 3 dictionaries about Adam's first wife, Lilith. Lilith, a female demon, a woman who is, in rabbinic legend, Adam's first wife, and is supplanted by Eve and becomes an evil spirit. Lilith, a famous witch in medieval demonology. That comes from Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, also found in Webster's New World Dictionary of the American Language, and Lilith also found in the American Heritage Dictionary. I thought that was rather interesting. Okay, this concludes part 2 of Booty and the Beast. Until next time, I am Elsie Butcher. Thanks again for listening.